I happened to do it in the other direction. You know, I played a character who was lawful neutral, and you know, as a kid, that you know, all right, I got to worry about the law, and he was always concerned with, you know, not breaking that law. But I wanted him to become this powerful mage that was solely focused on himself, and I had a really excellent DM, and he worked it through, and in several situations, there was something that clearly turned him. He had a decision to make, and he went down this path. So he went from lawful neutral to lawful evil, and then from lawful evil to neutral evil. So he went down that path, and it ended in a, you know, utter cataclysm of, you know, magic power and him standing on a cliff, you know, cackling in laughter. I'll get to that, you know, story on another video because it's really worth sharing. But, you know, in those situations, alignment as a tool for character change or character growth, or I'm stuck, what should I do here? Then it's great. But when it's limiting your character choices or forcing you to do something that you don't think your character should do or that you don't want to do, it's just lame. It's annoying. It just gets in the way. So, yeah, that's my opinion.
Alright, so we've heard about 2 different character stories. Well, I have a third one. And it's actually from my first serious game. And, you know, Derek Woodstalker, right? I was a teenager when I made this character, and he was an elven fighter druid. And I think this actually happened while we were adventuring in the Temple of Elemental Evil.
Oh, geez.
And this is 1E, man, first edition, guys. All right, and
this is when druids were super powerful, though, right?
Nah, kind of. It was different, you know. The whole class structure was completely different then, but or maybe it was advanced. Maybe it was the very beginning of advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and not first edition, because there's like a gray area where you actually had to be like 4 or 5 classes before you actually became the bard or the druid.
Oh yeah,
and it was like really weird. But anyway, none of that's really relevant to the story. But so we get into this battle. And we defeat the enemies, and there's one orc left, and he throws his weapons on the ground. He's like, I surrender. Don't kill me. I'll do whatever you want. And I go, fine. Take me to the treasure. And he takes me to the treasure, and there's a treasure chest, and I open it, and there's a treasure in it, just like he said. And but before that happens, right, he goes, well, how do I know you won't just kill me? And he's like, so he made me swear an oath to my God. So he takes me to the treasure. I swore an oath to my God. I open it. I get it. He goes to walk away, and I grab my spear. I turn and I put it right through his back. So, what my DM did was, you know, he describes a scene where all of a sudden, now we're kind of like in an underground installation, and the air is kind of still, but all of a sudden I feel a chill breeze blow across my spine. That it just numbs me to my soul, and then, you know, the next thing that happens is in front of me appears a spectral hound that begins to howl. Now, if you're not familiar with that edition, there was a monster called the Hound of Omen, right. And it was kind of like the messenger of the deities to tell you, dude, you just messed up and you did it bad, and now let me explain to you what that really means. So he appears before me, howls 3 times, and disappears. So now, over my head hanging like the sword of Damocles are these 8 double damages that I'm going to receive whenever the DM just feels like messing with me. Because I broke an oath to my deity, and I guess that was like, I don't know if it's exactly against my alignment, because I was true neutral, but, you know, see, but it all blends together with, like, the characterizations, and technically I'm a priest, and I was worshiping a god, and I swore an oath by that god, right, who is a god of balance and upholding neutrality. So, it's just how these things, like, shape your character, right, your deity selection, your alignment selection, and then the other thing is how they become a tool to to develop your character, but also, right, in the case of, you know, the lawful good paladin that's an NPC, right? So you as a player have certain assumptions, right? Well, what if one of your companions is playing a monstrous character who's typically evil,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden, right, you're not expecting trouble from the paladin because the paladins are good and lawful, right? But but this paladin is on a crusade, and that, so now your boy's head's on the chopping block because he's the wrong race, the wrong, or maybe another player is the wrong alignment. He hasn't necessarily done anything wrong yet, but his alignment's wrong, And then it also leads into player versus player conflict as well with the alignments. Like, you got a paladin in your party, or someone has detect alignment, and all of a sudden you realize the guy that's sitting across the table from you, and you guys have played for months now in this game, and now you understand. You just cast no alignment for some reason, and that motherfucker's evil. You're like, man, has he been stealing my stuff? Has he been working against us? What's going on? So all of a sudden it's like that doubt, and then it starts to splinter or fracture your party.
So you start thinking of all those bad things that have happened, or some of those things that you couldn't quite understand. It's like, oh well, did Joe or Bob or whoever over there, is he the one behind all of this? I've had characters that I've adventured with and had no clue that they were evil. Found out at the last moment, or technically it's like we had a friend who was evil, who was doing all this stuff against us, and he wound up moving away. Well, the last section of the campaign, rather than just say, yeah, guys, I'm going to go down a different path or whatever else, the DM comes and actually arrests this guy, and because they've the cops wind up coming and taking him away, and the people in the party start trying to defend. He's like, wait, guys, no, you don't want to do that. I'm as evil as they say. And it's like, oh, holy crap, we had no clue. None of us thought anything about it because he was working behind the scenes as a DM, or with the DM. And, in those kind of situations, that's great. But what happens when, something happens and you find out he's evil while the game is still going on? It's like, oh, man, what do you do? Now, I play a lot of, priestly characters, and most of my characters tend towards the, good type stuff, so I get access to no alignment and whatnot, but, really, is it a spell I'm going to prepare? Am I going to use it? And, again, what do you do when, you take a look around and, oh crap, that dude standing behind me that's been my friend.
Dark aura.
He's got that dark aura. Well, shit, what do I do?
And now, not only that, right? Now that you're like, oh my, now anything ever goes missing from anybody's pack, that person is hit.
He's the first suspect.
It doesn't matter. You could have been a rogue, a thief, a monster, outside the party. It doesn't matter. That guy is he's gonna bear the weight of it every time. So, I don't know, alignment. Do we need it?
And that's the other thing, with the no alignment, or with, Paladins detect evil, what makes that radar go off? Is it what's written on the character sheet? Is it what they've done in the last 24 hours, 20 minutes, or 20 years? If you've got someone who, yes, I was brought up evil, I was an anti-paladin, and, they've gone, they've gone through atonement or whatever else, and are trying to be good, and they haven't committed an evil act in, 3 years. Well, because they were evil at one point in time, whatever, does that make them evil? Or do you have to, every time you do an evil act, steal something, or, murder an innocent, do you have to go by the spell atonement or some other kind of magical situation to strip that off of you? Or, how do you do it? What removes that situation?
Or is it forever like a stain on your soul? So, now you've been lawful good for 3 years now, but someone casts detect alignment or detect evil on you, and you're like a glowing white aura with black spots in it.
So it's you please give us your opinions. Let us know what you think. Is it necessary? Is it a tool that helps guide, or is it a crutch that slows you down and mucks up the game? Because you can say I'm a paladin and not be sticking with that lawful good alignment and do what is right and what is noble and, you know, protect people, but go kill a bunch of orcs. Or you could be the, you know, the person in the party that's trying to calm that killing down, because as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to go murder women and children, you're evil. I don't care. So
yeah, or you could be the self-serving rogue that's neutral evil, but you're not out there murdering people and stabbing people in the back just for the heck of it, and you might actually be fond of your traveling companions and you like them, and you'll actually go out of your way to help them as long as it doesn't hurt you or take away from your goals. So there's a lot of things, and again, so let's leave it at that. Tool or Crutch, you guys decide. Let us know, in the comments what you think.
Like, subscribe, let us know, and hopefully we'll see you again soon on Nerdarchy.